RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is doing fantastic. I lost my chat. Oh, there it is. All right. Different show, as always. Enjoying changing things out a little bit. I want to say hello to North Star 143 while you're in early today. I like that. Jesse, nice to see you. Jesse, yes. Gary, good to see you, buddy. From Nashville, Tennessee, y'all. Living wellness, nice to see you. Discovered Theosophy. I'm going to have to look into that. Yvette Wellington, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. And yeah, there we go. Australia, g'day. Yeah, it's very nice. Jill McGlitter. That's an awesome name. McGlitter. That's pretty funny. So yeah, let's do it. Anyway, I'm expecting maybe a little, hopefully, maybe a little audience that we don't normally get on this show. So I'm just going to do, for those of you that do know me, excuse me for having to do this, but for those of you that don't know me, my name's Dan RadioStyle. I have manifesting, spiritual type shows, and we've got a bit of a situation going on in the world, obviously. I don't know if you're living under a rock, maybe you don't know about it. And I think the situation requires, one, just a little understanding around how law of attraction, general principles, Neville Goddard, a lot of people talk about how our consciousness and what we think about and focus on, how that actually creates things in the world. Now, another thing that's frequently brought up in the manifesting world is how feelings are very, very powerful manifestors. It's like putting Miracle Grow on your plant when you're growing your plant. And, you know, you do your normal water and your normal love, but you throw Miracle Grow on there. Oh, no, right? Or whatever. I'm just making an example. So one of the things that we need to keep in mind is that there is a lot of information going on right now about coronavirus, for example. Markets are another thing, and a lot of people are having experiences around this. I mean, I've been to the grocery store. I don't know if you guys are seeing the same thing I am, but it is really weird to see a grocery store like just empty. Like I've heard of these things. I mean, living in the United States, right? It's like a very weird thing for us. Certainly have heard things like this in other places, but certainly never experienced it myself. So that being said, there's obviously something going on. There's a lot of talk of how serious this coronavirus is. Now, I am not by any means a doctor. I'm not trying to downplay any of this. And believe me, I am tying in spirituality, so hang with me for a few. But one of the things that's really important to acknowledge is that, one, there is an illness. Two, it does seem to be, it's a disease that's passed. It seems to be by touch, by saliva, by a number of things like that, which is very common to things like the flu. I'm not saying it's the flu. And I get that the news and everybody's saying don't compare it to the flu. And there's a couple reasons for that. But primarily, one, it's not the same thing as the flu. It is much more contagious. So this is one of those things where if you are low immune, if you're low energy, if you're not in a good place within yourself, and if you're older, and if you fall into any of these high-risk categories, you should probably consider being a little cautious. Just saying. Because frankly, and I'll get to it again, there's a tie-in. There's a lot of emotional connection, and when you can't keep something off your mind, no matter how strong and wonderful you think you are, you're going to have a hard time kind of getting through just the noise that's around you. So just as a general practice, it's like we don't talk about manifesting things. You don't talk about it out loud. You don't bring it up to other people because you get questions. It causes issues. It makes it more difficult. What you do is you do it internally. You manifest the thing, and then you let other people show what you have manifested. So just to put a little perspective, and I'm not trying to downplay the severity. I'm just trying to put in a little perspective. In 2009, 2010, we had the HIV or H1N1, H1, whatever the heck it was, swine flu, I think we called it. So back then, there was 57 million Americans got that disease. 257,000 of them were hospitalized. So 250,000 people were hospitalized because of the swine flu. And 11,690 people had passed away, including, believe it or not, just on 1,180 kids, children. That killed children, which is not cool, ever. So again, that was something that was not made a lot of noise about, but this was a pandemic that we experienced almost 10 years ago, 11 years ago, okay? So that was the pandemic then. The normal flu, as of the CDC right now, it shows that Yeah, from October 1st, 2019 through February 1st, 2020, the number of people that have possibly died from the flu is about 30,000 people. In 4 months, the flu has killed 40,000 people. Now, this is one of the places where comparing it to the flu is not as, it's a good thing, right? Like, people die from car crashes, people die from suicide. There's a lot of crazy numbers of how many people die. When you put things in perspective sometimes, changes a little bit. So 20,000, 30, up as high as 30,000 people died in just this year since October 1st to the end of February? No, the beginning of February. February 1st. So 4 months. 30,000 people died from the flu. Where we're supposedly at, and this, I don't know, these numbers from like 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, so they could have changed a little bit. Right now, there's 2,300 cases of people, at least that are known. It could be higher. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is. 2,300 cases. 2,300 cases that have it. Of these, 50 have died. And at least 49 of them? No, that's not right. 37 of them. Sorry. 37 of the 50 are in one location in Washington State. Like, they pulled in a bunch of them, and in one place. 37 of 50. So was that like 74%? 74% of all the deaths are in one facility, one building, one place. 74% of all the deaths thus far are in one building. Now, when we look at those numbers, and you take the 2,300, I had to do it in a calculator because it's like, and if I would have done it on the screen, it might have not come out well. But okay, you can do the math at home if you want, open up a calculator, whatever. 2,300 people, divide that by the current population of the United States, which is 329 million. It's actually 329.45, but let's keep it at 329 million. Now, 329 million is 329 with 6 zeros following, just in case you don't know that. 6 zeros after 329, that's 329 million. When you divide 2,300 by 329 million, and then what you do is you take that number and you multiply it by 100. That's how you get a percentage. And when you do that, you get 0.000759%. 0.00075% chance or people have gotten it. Of all the population, that's the actual percentage that's currently infected that we know of. And again, a number could be higher. I'm sure it is, whatever. So good. Let's get that out of the way. Now, the important part. Where does manifesting come in? Dan, why are you being so negative? Dan, why are you talking about things you shouldn't talk about? I hear you. I understand. One, that's part of this show is a call to all light workers to understand that right now, historically speaking, this is the time to unite. This is the time to light up your lights. This is the time to shine. This is the time where I'm asking all of my audience, all the people out there that I know are on the cutting edge of society as far as how our focus changes the world and how there are things that are actually happening in the world that are meant to help towards that. Now, I'm trying to pull one up as we speak, and we'll see how good I am at doing it. But there's a mass meditation that's coming up, and I want to say it's the 4th of April. So I'm going to see if I can find it. And I'm going to do a video on it possibly later today, if not by tomorrow. There's a mass meditation. It's going to happen at the exact same moment across the world. And this meditation is going to be geared towards essentially disinfecting the planet. We're going to essentially kind of focus on shining a white light, light of love, radiate love, however you want to see it, into the earth, into the world, onto the people. And we're going to change all of this. How? We're going to focus on something positive. We're going to focus on healthy things. We're going to focus on something that actually makes a difference. Now, back in the 90s, around 2000, roughly, there was a guy, I brought this up before. There was a gentleman, very famous in radio, did a show called Coast to Coast. And it was Art Bell, infamous guy. Very, very awesome, amazing guy. And he had a couple different cases where they experimented and took the radio audience, so again, at the same second, and got millions of people to focus on the same thing. And at the time, one of the things they experimented with was hurricanes and trying to steer a hurricane. Now, one of the things that happened is they managed to steer it away from where it was initially going to go, but then it actually managed to slam into another place and do extreme damage. So it freaked him out. It actually scared him, and he's like, I don't know if I ever want to do this again, because sometimes things have to happen. And that was truly an acknowledgement. And so by taking it away from this one place, that's fine, but all this energy still has to go somewhere. And that wasn't really properly dealt with or accepted. So, one, evidence that mass mind people thinking the same thing, can make an enormous difference in life, in the way we all experience things. So, one, there's this huge meditation that's coming up. I finally did find the article, by the way, so if I can just scroll down here, maybe I'll just find the video. So give me 1 sec. I apologize, folks. But yeah, I'm pulling up the video, and I know in the comments it's got the actual dates, and it's got the times for the different places. So I'm so close. Doing this stuff on the fly is not okay. How do you open it up? Show more. That's it. Boom, boom. Let's see. Okay, here it is. All right. So 10:45 p.m. This can be April 4th, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Time in New York. So it'll be April 4th, 10:45 p.m., which works out to 7:45 p.m. Los Angeles times on April 4th. London, I think, is 4:45 a.m. in tomorrow, the 5th, right? And then Beijing is at 11:45 a.m. What else we got in here? Cairo is around 4:45 a.m. Taipei, 10:45. So all of these people, and this is put together by someone else that I'm very much love. They're called We Love Mass Meditation. It's a really cool thing that they help try to promote as well. And everybody all over the globe is going to be focusing on putting white light, putting light of love, putting disinfecting light onto the planet. Healing people that have it, putting energy through those people, disinfecting any places that exist. The focus is on purifying this planet. The reason is, just to give a little quick aside, hopefully not too crazy for some of you guys, but the reason is that the timeline was affected back around 2012, and what's happening is this timeline's getting messed with right now. And this is kind of an attempt to get us back on the ascension timeline, back on this positive movement timeline. So hence a lot of the light worker calls. I've been in a lot of circles for a lot of years, and there's a number of people that are truly focused and fixated on the time when this basic event would come. And it has. Now, again, spin back around on how manifestation works. Manifestation is a very powerful tool that we all use. A lot of people on my channel for sure, are using manifestation to get love, or maybe try to raise their income, success, all these things. One of the big techniques that are constantly shared with people is you imagine a situation, maybe spending time with a specific person, maybe you want to marry them, so you imagine being in that wedding, dancing with them, you see them from your perspective, but most importantly, you feel what it's like to have this reality already. You feel the reality. Now, what Goddard says is feelings are the key, or feelings are what matter. There's a lot of people, feelings seem to be, in all the circles, and basically from my experience as well, feelings are extremely powerful. And what happens when you get a group of people that have a large reach, maybe YouTube channels, maybe news organizations, all of them. I haven't seen one news organization that's not doing this. Even the good ones that either side has, right? Either side has their news channels they trust. All of them are doing the same thing. They're talking about this situation like it's the most dire thing ever. Again, pointed out numbers that suggest that's not really true. I mean, again, it's still early. We're 3 months into this or whatever. But a lot of sources are suggesting that China's kind of getting back together. I'd love to have some people, if you can, but you're in China, you're probably not allowed to say anything. But a lot of sources are suggesting that manufacturing's getting back, that Wuhan itself is actually close to opening. Like, a lot of things have progressed. Now, I hear horror stories of the opposite, but supposedly, from a business standpoint, all of the Starbuckses are open in China now. And supposedly from some of the manufacturer numbers that they report and need to, because there's people that receive stuff, most of the manufacturing is actually back up, like 80, 85%, something like that. It's a rather high percentage of manufacturing is fully back up and running. So it seems like after, I don't know, what was it, December? Maybe November when it started? I don't know, it's hard to say because they didn't really tell. But through all that, after a little span of time, it's not the end of the world. The way it's playing out in the news is they don't have enough ventilators in Italy, in this one location that's got a really high population, right? The news gloms onto this one little story in an abnormal situation and highlights it like it's the norm. And what that's intended to do is create fear. Fear is an interesting thing. Fear draws near. Fear causes more of what you're scared of. Fear lowers immune systems. Fear causes crazy behavior. Fear causes nothing but bad. The only time I can think of, and forgive me if I'm missing a couple options, but I don't know, I'm out in the forest and I'm like, cooking campfire and I hear this, grrr. Yeah, fear. That's legit. That is called F everything and run. Now, granted, if it's a bear, he's going to chew you up. You're toast. If you run, especially. You just play dead, maybe. I don't know. But that being said, rarely ever, especially in any sort of civilized world life, do you have to worry about that. Maybe coyotes, maybe bears if you live up in some of those crazy places where on the outskirts, or deer coming through and getting mad and doing that little hissy noise at you, whatever that noise is, right? Okay, whatever. These are fears. These are legitimate fears, right? You don't gonna go mess with that. Outside of that, fear of the unknown, fear of something that's not there, fear of something I can't see, fear of what is unknown, unable to, all of these things create bad mojo. All of this, if you can come on the news, again, Art Bell, he had a radio station, just like the news. The news broadcasts the same information at the same exact second across the world, or at least across the country. So at one moment, they're able to create mass consciousness on a specific outcome that they choose. They know this. Law of attraction is not some secret to the corporations either. The marketing, just dig into marketing a little bit and you will truly find how significant this information is embedded into corporate America, into marketing, into the news media. If it bleeds, it leads. They have these sayings for a reason, because it works. Believe it or not, 80% of the sheeple out there, the second this happens, freak out and run down to the grocery store and buy toilet paper like it's going out of style. Toilet paper. You might get diarrhea, I don't know, but anyway. There's a lot of other things they're buying out, and the shelves are bare. There's no meat. It's ridiculous, man. I live in Southern California. Never in my life I've seen this. This is awesome. This is awesome in the sense of just grand. Not awesome in a, hey, radical dude surfs up. No, not so much. The news is pushing a lot of stories right now. What I'm asking for the people, the light workers, the people out there that understand that we're here to change the world, that we're affecting the world by what we think about. Now, a lot of people, we've come from the standpoint we understand we affect our own lives, but let's look at it larger. Communities exist because of co-creating. States exist because of co-creating. Countries exist because of co-creating. The world exists because of co-creating. We all have our individual little worlds. We manifest those when we go inside and close our door and no one else can see us. It's amazing the miracles that we can create. When we have to go out into the world, suddenly we no longer can levitate every place we walk because other people are looking at us, so we have to live by different rules, maybe. And I'm being way facetious and hyperbolic just for fun. But the way these situations are unfolding right now, this is the time where we need people to realize that our thoughts are powerful, that our feelings are immensely powerful. And now's the time to remember that we love our fellow neighbor. Now's the time to remember that we love each other. Now's the time to be thinking of ways that we can help one another. Now's the time to not think about how I could hoard everything. It's not an issue of that. You're thinking more, how can I be beneficial? And those of us that are light workers realize how powerful our energy is, how powerful our light is. And by turning that on, by shining that in all the given directions we can, and we're not trying to force our opinions down people's throat, what we're representing is confidence that things are going to work out. that things have a plan and purpose. Any of us that have done any significant manifesting, especially that have paid attention to it for any length of time, definitely know that there are times when you're manifesting something, and in that process, you create a situation that normally you would consider frightening. But when you realize this is part of this manifestation, or this is helping nudge me in the direction I need to go, you realize that life is a beautiful dance, and there's this weird poetry. And you talk to other people and you hear them say the same things and you feel them say the same things. You realize this is how life just seems to work. We have our guidance. We're steering the ship at sea. The direction is mine to choose. But the storms that happen to me are not. Sometimes storms happen. They do. It's life. It's part of living. It's actually kind of an exciting part of living. It can be good excitement, and sometimes it can be bad excitement, right? There's two sides of that. And right now, we're experiencing, on a planetary level, some very exciting times. Now, again, do I go out and do stupid things like lick other people, just walk up to random people and just lick them? No. Why? I mean, I could be okay. I should be okay. I've got a high confidence that my immune system will take care of me. But do I do that? No. Is it fun to play kickball on the freeway? Absolutely. Do I do it? No. It's a guaranteed way to die. Same goes with running around licking people. So now is a time to just be a little more cautious in our living. I don't mean don't necessarily talk to people, but don't necessarily walk up and, rub their faces and then lick your hands. No. I just saw a buddy of mine. He's a sheriff guy. I was walking past him on the way out. We did the fist bump. I'm like, oh yeah, coronavirus. And he's like, oh yeah, the elbow thing. So we bumped elbows. It's like, all right. But you know what? That's still love. It's still love. So I'm playing the game in a way that's probably safer, even for me. But I understand my immune system's solid, and whatever happens, happens. But I'm, boom, little elbow bump, still loving my fellow man, heading home, doing my regular thing. Now, I had a trip. I was supposed to go to Vegas. One, they're canceling stuff left, right, and center. So did I cancel my trip? No. I postponed it. That's all. Now's not the right time to go to Vegas. Especially with my girlfriend who's Asian and has elderly parents at home. That's a risk. That's not worth it because she's freaked out and panicked right now. She's scared. She's seeing all the news articles and then I'm like frustrated. I'm like, you got to stop listening to this stuff, sweetie. It's not okay. They're trying to freak you out. And that is what the point is. We have to take control. We have to take power. We have to take this time to be the responsible ones. I'm asking each and every one of you that watch this, that are watching now, that will ever watch it, to remember your fellow man is you. What you do for another, you do for yourself. What you do for the least of my friends, you've done for me. We are all in this together, and we will hold the positive light. And there's a wonderful meditation. I will do a video on it coming up. And it will be on like April 4th, April 5th, depending on where you are. Mark the date on your calendar. April 4th, April 5th, 4/4, 4/5. Or this way, I think. But we will change this. We will affect this. This is a time for all of us to be a part of that bigger thing that we've always thought we were here to be. We've always wondered what would happen if we could get a bunch of people together and manifest things. Now, one thing that's kind of funny is a lot of people initially think this thought by, wouldn't it be cool if I could get like 20 people to help me manifest what I want? True, that would be rad. How about, though, we think about getting a bunch of us together to manifest something that's good for a bunch of us? And that's the point. And some people are saying, well, how do you know what's best for all? I would say disinfecting the planet from coronavirus and anything related to it, and anybody that's healed by it, and seeing how the light that we're sending and the love and light that we're sending is actually causing the virus to just go away. And it's not even an issue of hating the virus. Again, the virus is alive. I don't want to hate the virus. It's not doing anything but what it does. The virus is not worthy of hate. What the virus is worthy of is understand that you don't really belong inside of me. It's kind of like I have a rule in the house. I love spiders, absolutely love spiders. And if I see them in random places in the house, we're cool. If they're in my bedroom, toast. That's the rule. I made it with the spiders. I'm like, I'm fine with you being in all sorts of other areas because you're eating other bugs, like whatever the hell. You've somehow found something to help me out with other than making cobwebs, which are annoying, but I fix those every once in a while. But the second they show up in places they shouldn't, got to change the rules. So this is the time for us to make the difference, to hold that positive thing, to be strong for those around us, to be smart to those around us, to not necessarily listen and believe everything you say, but maybe dig into it a little bit. Maybe understand that maybe not everything is necessarily meant to benefit me specifically, and maybe meant to cause chaos. I would say right now, without a doubt, and a lot of people blame it in a lot of ways, and I'm not here to pass blame, but I'm here to acknowledge what's reality, which is, this is the most divided I've ever seen our world. We're politically divided. We're divided on ideology. We're divided from individual standpoints. We've become very binary in our thinking. It's either this or that. You're either there or here. There's no in between, not allowed. It's a very weird time right now. We need to remember that we're all in this together. Every one of us. We're all humans. We're all human beings. And we're being the best that we can. And I'm hoping at least my audience is going to be a part of this change. It's going to be a part of this transition. It's going to be here to make a difference. I understand that you don't want to talk about coronavirus because you don't want to put more energy towards it. But at the same time, it exists, it's around. So let's do something positive thinking. If you know you've got a house full of germs, what do? You disinfect. So let's disinfect. Let's think disinfecting thoughts. Let's stay healthy in our thinking. Let's realize that we are always in the right place at the right time. I am here to make a difference. I am a healthy human being. And I continue to love. You come at life from that. You will do the right things. Again, conscious, subconscious. You will make the right choices. You will go to the right places. The traffic signals will work in just the right way, so maybe you miss that crazy accident that happens up ahead because you got the red light. Sometimes things happen for a reason. Understand that you are always exactly where you're supposed to be. You're always protected. You're always healthy. You're always safe. Assume, law of assumption. Even if it makes an ass out of you and me, I'd rather make an ass out of you and me in a positive way, because that can't be hurting. As long as you're not going out and being irresponsible, like I said, don't run around and lick each other unless you're into that sort of thing. That's the only thing that can cause issues. I think I covered all the stuff. I was here to be virtuous to people, be kind to others, show compassion, and be strength. That was the last thing that I had. So if you guys got questions, you guys want to yell at me for bringing stuff up, I am open for that. If you guys want to have comments, if you guys have thoughts, I'd love to see and hear. So let's jump to some of this. And sorry, I'm so crazy. Yeah, can you get into the conspiracies? My concern is mostly this. Gel McGlitter. I think there are a lot of conspiracies out there, and I'll be honest, there's some of them that I kind of get into. Do I think the virus was man-made? From what I understand, there was a vector in there that seems to be of a man-made nature. Who did it? I don't want to get, it seems to get really political when you start getting into some of that stuff, but I honestly think there's a power at work in this planet that's trying very hard to hold the rest of humanity down. We've nicknamed it the deep state in a lot of the West, I guess. I do think there is that, and I think there's something at work that's part of that. So, but that's speculation, and I don't think that's necessarily being responsible. But I do think there's some interesting information that's out there that suggests that maybe this is not the best thing that's ever happened to us. Doesn't seem like it's necessarily like the bubonic plague for sure. That was a rat, fleas, and all sorts of crazy nasty. What was the other one that was 100 years ago? Anyway, Spanish flu, I think. But who knows? Hard to say. I think I was from the Spanish coming from Europe, right? And this place didn't have protection from that because that's how we killed the native culture of the United States. We came in from Europe and just had all sorts of nasty like colds and stuff, and killed half the population here because they couldn't deal with it. They weren't used to that. Doesn't anyone think, John M., that this could be the worldwide 5G mind control auto-suggestion experiments? There's a lot of 5G talk. Supposedly Wuhan was directly involved with that. They do think that it's possible some of the crazy stuff they experienced was tied to that. I'm reading that stuff. I'm not, like I said, I don't just assume things are true, but I do try to take in as much information as I can. And what I find is everything's usually got a piece of the truth, and then you kind of like try to figure out where that center is. Like, where's the part where they all connect? And that's what I usually kind of try to dial in where the actual truth is. But I do think there's something to be said about that for sure. Yeah, and still fearing people is a major controller for others. So yes, Stu, Shy Trisha, nice to see everybody. I know it's kind of a different show for a lot of people. Mass meditation for all of Earth. Earth well-being, very good, Gary. Yes. And that's the other thing too, by the way. One of the things that's great about this manifestation is even if you don't want to get into the coronavirus aspect of it, and you just want to, think good thoughts and peace and love or whatever. Well, I mean, it's a chance to actually really play a part where millions of people at one time are going to be meditating all together. And it's like a 20-minute thing, if you can. But if not, 5 minutes is fine. If you can get in there, it's huge. I've done this a few times, and it's really cool to be a part of something that everybody's doing. There is a neat energy when you meditate. I'm getting chills talking about, like when you get into that energy state and feel a mass conscious energy, it's extremely powerful. It's extremely powerful. Sheeple, love it. Let's see, describe this thing too. I don't know. Let's show this. What should I, Trisha? Uh-oh, I lost it. This thing jumps around a lot, so sorry guys, it's a little tricky. News is beyond evil. Very true. Okay, that's Marlena Bontas. Very nice. Let's see. Just buy all the plungers. That's funny, Stu A. Yeah, for the toilet paper thing, that's very, very funny. Rooted reality. See, there's a meme that says Sylvia Browne's book predicted this many years ago, that in 2020 it would disappear as fast as it came, come back a few years later, and then die a second time around. Humor is usually backed with partial truths. Describe this thing too. I don't think those were all the same three thoughts, but yeah, I agree with you. Rooted in reality or rooted reality. There's been a lot of talk of this. There's been books that have talked about this actual situation happening. Crichton wrote a really cool one at some point in the past. By the way, he's probably one of my favorite sci-fi writers. I don't know if you guys have read any of Michael Crichton's stuff, but he's very, very good. He's awesome, in fact. Kind of up there with Dan Brown, but he's a little more on the weirdy side, which I like, by the way. But yeah, Crichton's good stuff. Note to self, no licking. See, DWKWP 1971. Boom, I've saved one life, it sounds like. And that is all. I can drop the mic and walk away, because thank you. Fantastic. Oh, no. Marlena Bontas, no licking as well. So good. I got a couple to you. That's good. Great speech, fully support. Thank you. Pretty Bird, 75. Hi, Dan. What do you think about the belief of actions speak louder than words? How does this affect our manifestations? Actions are doing, actions are being. When you act as though you have something already, it's extremely powerful. In the old meditation days of when I was younger, one thing that was always pointed out, and I still agree with this, a law of attraction talks about it differently, but it's still true, and they don't disagree with it. But what you think, what you say, and what you do are the three ways we manifest. And thinking is the least powerful, believe it or not. What you say is very powerful. A lot of people are like, but you're not supposed to talk about your manifestation. You're right, but you're supposed to talk as though you already have stuff. If you're talking like I don't have money, or I'm talking, right? Like you're supposed to already speak as though you are abundant. So from that standpoint, yeah, you should talk about it. You shouldn't tell people, yeah, I'm trying to manifest a home gym, right? Like, no, don't get into the details. It's not, they don't care. But yeah, you're abundant. That's awesome. Be vocal about it. It's okay. On top of that, do. What you do is the most powerful, and that's acting as though you have it already. It's the most powerful thing you can do. So yes, actions speak way louder than words. In fact, words are like whispered quiet, and actions are like booming. So yeah, it's a huge difference. Hopefully that's terribly crazy. Hey, a start turtle. Nice to see you. Absolutely great. Thanks. I've been posting much positive, cute, funny things on media as I can right now. Make people laugh. If you can calm them down with reason, distract them. Hey, that is a great way to look at it. Reminds me of an awesome, stupid joke. I'm going to say it anyway. I might add one other stupid to this version. And a lot of you should know this, I hope. But what do you call the boomerang? I have someone from Australia. What do you call a boomerang? What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back to you? Crickets? Crickets? A stick. Yeah. If you just throw it, it never comes back. Hopefully you got a dog. Your dog might fetch it. But it ain't a boomerang. That's full shizzle. Let's see. The full Monty. The problem with conspiracy theories of this kind is that it doesn't help the situation. I agree with you completely, Mr. The Full Monty. I also think, though, and hopefully you would agree, that I think doing the opposite and instilling panic in others is also not good. So there's this weird, responsible middle ground that I think is important for all of us to find. And again, not being afraid, I think no matter what, is a great idea. Don't do stupid things. Treat us like a growling bear. Don't just go run up and lick people that have the thing. But at the same time, don't freak out and panic. And it's just like, and even still, panicking is not going to help anyway. And how much toilet paper does someone really need? I'm just saying. I don't know. Unless you got a big family, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. I see myself at the coast of Montenegro at Easter, drinking white wine and laughing my shirt off. Topless probably works. Sure. Let's do that. Sounds like a good idea. Let's see. Cute Cali Girl 87. Hey, welcome, Cali Girl. Are you not in Cali anymore? Is that why you kind of broadcasted? Or are you still in Cali and you're just acknowledging that I'm cute? I'm just telling y'all. Let's see. Thanks for the info on the mass meditation. Love to participate. Cool. I will follow up and let's see. There's the video. This is a great video. This is the English one anyway. Here, I'll drop the link in there. Y'all can have that. Those of you that are already here are going to get first dibs at it. I've been following this particular site that started this whole movement for years now, and the few times we've done it, it's been really cool. Or at least they do it a lot. The few ones that I've been involved with have been really cool. How about that? Peter Cash, you're welcome, sir. This may be a time for us to step up our manifesting and spread us love, peace even more. And that is exactly the call that I am making to all of you. I'm praying and thanking all of you for your involvement in making this world better, safer, and less fearful. But not a good way to state it. But better, happier, more peaceful, more relaxed, more kumbaya, more let's give peace a chance, whatever. Let's just chill it down a little notch or two. Let's pump the brakes, as they might say. Paul, that's really solid. You got the Paul, like you are the only Paul out there. I think that's pretty cool. The feeling of the wish fulfilled and Neville's remember when thing. I'm in. Awesomeness. Yeah, right? Like all this stuff that's happening is manifestation 101. It's just on a grand scale. And that's what's so cool. Like, all my hippie friends like totally into this kind of stuff because it's like a chance to do that hippie thing, right? They go out and like, let's everybody love each other, and and it's true. It's awesome, and I really do think that movement was great. I think I learned it kind of from my parents, and I was sort of on the tail end of that anyway, and so it worked out really well. But that all being said, my hero, Let's see, Nicole. Hey, nice to see you. Stuck. Honestly, I was looking forward to some quiet time spent writing. I'm not sure. Did I miss like an earlier thing you said? It seems out of context. Let's see. Next, Nazima and Dan, they say bumping feeling is better, not elbows, as we cough in our elbows. Thanks for everything. Not the outer part though. You bump the outer part of the elbow. The inner part's where the germs are. But I hear your point. That's fine. I mean, I don't cough on my hand. You might cough on your hand though, like that too. Like people just I think accidentally do, even though you shouldn't get your hand anywhere near your face, right? Wash them all the time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, do the best you can. Do the best you can, people. Let's see. Cesar David Marin. Let's see. Hi, Dan. Don't you think that these books who were fictional back the COVID ID come to the conclusion that Neville says there is no fiction? For sure. Let's see. All like science, all technology that we have pretty much came from science fiction. If you look at a lot of the things that have played out in the world, they've typically come from fiction. Yeah, oddly, fiction is one of those things that tends to happen. And again, just to reiterate my point, let's say I make a story that has a certain sort of fear level and everything built into it, especially us on the West. We love our Hollywood movies. And I get millions of people to watch it and hold this fear and think about this really dark idea, maybe like a virus, and then how horrible it would be, this pandemic situation. And I get all these people to watch this and get this and activate that within themselves. Now I've got millions of people that have this thing stuck in them that's ready to go whenever enough people feel that way. It's how mass co-creation works. Enough people hold a certain belief, that belief becomes common. That's how it works. So, yeah, I mean, there's a point, and you're right, and that's kind of how it plays out, but it's actually, putting the cart before the horse almost. They do it intentionally. They intentionally get people to focus on these negative things. We call it fiction. We call it a lot of things. It doesn't matter. The subconscious mind doesn't care. It doesn't have a sense of humor. It's pretty dry, actually. It's just, okay, whatever you say, and it runs off and does it. Doesn't care if it's good or bad or up or down or left or right. It doesn't really give a crap. It's going to do it anyway. So it is funny how it is. Let's see. The full Monty toilet paper is now at the bottom of the Maslow pyramid. That's awesome. I don't even know which pyramid that one is, by the way. I haven't heard of that one. So, I mean, there's a bunch of pyramids on the planet, so I'm not surprised that there's a pyramid I've not heard of. Light Evolving Hotep. I love the name. Always say that. Dan, I finally manifested that job I wanted, and I somehow manifested a broken leg on the same day. Well, that's kind of weird. Yeah, for sure. Very interesting. But you got the job, I guess. So, right, that's a win. And can you work from home? I'm curious. It's really weird. That is kind of strange. Let's see. A Start Turtle. Apparently, they were afraid they would be no toilet paper, and they manifested that. Exactly. Scarcity. You're right. I mean, boom. Start Turtle's 100% right. Think of how many scarcity thoughts exist right now. So the panic. Not the panic. Scarcity. There you go. We've got empty stores. Like I said, I've been watching the stock market. I got money invested in it. Technically, on paper, I've lost a ton. Doesn't matter. It's going to come back. Everything, it will. Or if not, I'm manifesting. I'm abundant anyway. Like, again, how you look at what's happening totally changes what's actually happening to you. And for me, I'm watching a movie. I've been, honestly, and I don't mean this to sound braggadocious, though it kind of is, 30 years I've been waiting for this. I've read about it. I've studied about it. I've been literally trying to work on myself to be ready for this day. Like I knew it. This has been coming. This like 2012, I was one of the people who like, is it yet? And I'm like, nah, there's no way. And even when this started happening, I still had a hard time believing that this was going to blow up like it did. But I actually think we might, I don't know, dominoes are falling, man. And this is an exciting, historic time to be alive on this planet. That's all I can say. Really good stuff's coming. The best is yet to come is one of the things I keep hearing. And it reminds me of a very cool song from Dave Matthews that I like called, I think, The Best Is Yet to Come. Anyway, good song. Yvette of Wellington. Hey, anyone got a spare roll? Dude, so, okay, I got to tell the joke. I think this is funny as hell. And yeah, I'll ship it out there to Australia. I'll ship it first class. My neighbor ordered a case of Angel Soft toilet paper, a case of Angel Soft toilet paper. I'm figuring there was like 108 rolls or whatever the hell in there. Probably more than that. It was a ridiculous 250 rolls. I don't know. It was a big ass case, no pun intended, of Angel Soft. And I'm laughing. I was on the conference call with people at work, and I'm like, hey, does anyone need toilet paper? My neighbor just got a big delivery, and I'll sell it to you for $5 a roll. And I started laughing. It was very funny. I got laughs across the room, but yeah, to your point, it's very, very true. It's very funny. Let's see. Wabi Chung, what up, Dan? Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. A lot of crazy stuff you possibly missed, but it's all good. Monica Leon, I love it. You've been a friend of my channel for a long time. Like back when I was definitely under 1,000 subs, but maybe even under 100. You were way long ago. Anyway, awesome to see you here. What about you creating a community meditation and visualizing for a healthy, united, and happy world? So you maybe come in a little late. There is a giant one that's going on. I have way too small a reach to be organizing something like that. Nobody would show up. I mean, some would. But my reach right now is not nearly sufficient, so I'm tagging on to a much, much larger movement, and we're going to be a part of that. So yes, I'm asking my audience to be a part of this larger movement, so I'm at least doing my part to spread the word. So to your point, Monica, I am doing my best to do exactly that. I did share a link above. If you want to scroll up through the chat, maybe if you can. Let's see, I can paste it one more time, just for those of you that maybe just recently joined. This is a video. It's in English, but this is a video that I'm watching. It's got all sorts of text in there about what's going on. Gives an example. It's kind of cool, but some of you might be like, this is weird. I don't know, whatever. But it's all about trying to spread love and disinfect and just love the planet and help change the thing that's going on right now. So yes, this is time, not the full Monty. This is not time for me to shine, my friend. This is the time for all of us to shine. I am with you all. I am not different. I'm special. I'm not special. I'm just like each and every one of you. So I just happen to have a channel. I've been doing this for a number of years. I love it. It's fun. There's people that are way bigger than me, by the way, that should probably be talking about this, but whatever the case is. I'm doing my part. That's all I can do. So, love you guys. Nicole Winters, hi, late to the party, but better late than never. That is so very true. Welcome, welcome. Monica, okay, love you. Anyway, always with you. Thank you, Monica. This is your sweetheart. Oksana, it's funny you were talking about good things coming. I figured it's universe's way to bring me everything I want or catch up on things. I don't know if I to bring to me everything I want. I feel like you typoed in there. I'm not sure what you're. Anyway, thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know if we've got any more questions. Let's see if anything else jumps to my mind, because maybe now's a good time, unless someone pops in a question. Maybe now's a good time to bid adieu. But I hope you guys can be a part of this mass meditation. I've shared the link a few times. Planning on trying to put a video together, hopefully today or tomorrow, one of the two. I know I'm also recording with Anya's tomorrow, so I might try to tie it into that. We'll see. I've already recorded my video to air tomorrow, so I might actually just take the rest of the day off. It might be nice. I've been a crazy week, and I work for a media company, so with politics and coronavirus, my life has been crazy. So just anything. It's lots of fun. Love you guys. You guys are truly the best. Let's go ahead. Oh, I just let that keep running. That was brilliant. Brilliance. Going out with number 4. You guys are bomb diggity, though. I appreciate it. I hope for all the hundreds of people that follow up, if you've made it this far in the video, certainly, thanks for being a part of all this. You guys are the best. I lost the chat. Where are you guys at? There you are. You guys are the best. Have an adventurous weekend, everybody, as well. I love you all. Be safe, be kind, love one another, be courteous, all these things. Be the best that's out there, please. Let's show everyone what we can do. Let's make a difference, guys. This is the time to shine. This is what we've trained for. I love you guys. We'll do this soon.